everyone, welcome. Rajya Sabha Television is in Pune and I'm surrounded by the youth of the country. These are people who study in the MIT Engineering College, also the School of Governance in this vast institute that is in Pune, once called the Oxford of the East by Jawaharlal Nehru. Like I said before, the youth of the country cannot be ignored anymore. India apparently is churning. It's not burning just quite yet, but it's not shining either. It's somewhere in the middle, it's churning. And like I said before, these students around me, they have views, they have opinions, and that cannot be ignored anymore. Today, this special campus debate comes to you from Pune in their campus. I am among them, and we will talk about what they think of the country, what they think of the political situation in the country. We will see politics through the eyes of the youth of the country. I'll start my questioning in just a bit. But let me introduce these people to you. These are all college students. Some of them have studied politics. Some of them are not political students, but still have political opinions and have a lot to say. Let me come to that in just a bit, but I want to put a question to all of you right away. Feel free to raise your hand and I'll come to you with the mic. How many of you think, by a show of hands, that India is churning right now? That's about, I think, 30% of the audience. I'll give the mic to you. Mrinal, tell us why India is churning.
I'm Mrinal Dolepatil from MIT School of Government. I think as a nation, we are a nation in making. And I think it is this economic aspect after the liberalization and globalization policies that this nation is churning, not only on its economical front, but also on its social front. And that's why on its political front as well.
Very interesting views, Mrinal. It's not just social issues, it's also economic issues. Yes. Who else agrees with Mrinal that it is all because our economy is growing, it's in a state of flux, we are at the crux of becoming a developed nation? Do you agree with that?
Yes. After the opening up, I think we have got the opportunity to go outside and see outside world and see what is best in them, and we want to incorporate those things in India in the political situation of our country. So that's why I believe it is churning. It's the political reforms that we need.
Very interesting point, my friend just make political reforms. How many of you agree that electoral reforms is where it starts from? Political parties that get funds, that needs to be checked. Show of hands, please. Overwhelming majority of this particular crowd in Pune, electoral reforms. Who wants to speak on electoral reforms? Who has any ideas? Yes.
I'm Rajan Kalsotra from MIT School of Government. See, the need is, today's politics need is electoral reforms. You know, a person like me who wants to enter into politics cannot enter into politics if I don't have any money, I don't have any muscle power, I cannot enter into politics. So for me, the electoral reforms is necessary because it only ensures like a person like me who don't have any background in politics or who don't have any muscle power or who don't have any money can enter into politics very smoothly, you know.
Do you actually believe, and do we agree with my friend over there, if you do not have the political bulwark, if I can call it that, if you don't have the come from a political family, there is no way we can enter politics? Who agrees? Again, a substantial majority agrees. Who wants to speak on why that is and how can we change it? What about you?
My name is Rizma Khan. I am from ISBJ, MIT ISBJ. Being a part of this country, I feel like India, there's a two India. One is separate India and one is which is still struggling. Being an overindulged India, I feel like one youth who wants to indulge themselves into the politics, they have their own struggling phase which they want to avoid.
Would you say then, my friend, would you say that there is a disconnect between India and Bharat? What about you? Do you think India and Bharat are two separate entities like some politicians would have us believe? Who agrees that India and Bharat are not on the same level? Are we two different entities, India and Bharat? No. Why do you think so? Yeah, we'll come to you. Why do you think India and Bharat are not two separate entities?
Well, I believe India and Bharat is one and the same, but yes, it is used by many political parties. Some of them term India, some of them term it to be as Bharat. I mean, some of them, believe it's a place for Hindus. There are many regional issues which have recently come up. I could, state an example of the Delhi rape case recently, okay? Not concentrating on the culprits, not concentrating on the level of punishment they should be getting or the special law which should be made. People are rather concentrating कि वो लोग बिहारी थे. I mean, what a statement made by Raj Thackeray. Come on, we should be over it by now. I mean, come on. Some people are from Bihar, so you cannot be like blaming all the Biharis or something.
Politicizing an issue, that's a huge problem in our country. It can be any issue. Forget just the gang rape. It was a heinous crime. The whole country is shocked by it. But little issues are politicized for political gain. Yes or no? Yes, they are. And do you agree, and in one voice can we say that we do not want politicization of issues like that? Yes or no? Yes. Absolutely. That is what I want from you. Speak your mind today. You spoke your mind, very good. I'll come to this side. If you could keep passing on the mic. I'll come to you. You had a very interesting point to make. You're from Delhi. Yes? You went back to Delhi, heard about the gang rape case. You felt really agitated. You were not really happy about it. Would you feel the same if the same thing had happened in Dantewada in Orissa, or maybe in Tamil Nadu, or maybe in Kerala?
Basically, the thing is that you feel the same, but when it comes to your region, your area, there is a sense of security that comes to your mind. You know कि हमारे इलाके में ना हो जाए, हमारे आसपास ना हो जाए, हमारी families के साथ ना हो जाए. It's a sense of that. Like when I went to Delhi a few days back, it was everywhere. There were traffic jams, there were people on the roads, and bashing cars away. Everything was happening, but you see other parts of the country like Hyderabad, Indore for that matter, people did come out on the streets as well. So it's like you said, it's churning, it's changing. People do come out of their boundaries and accept the changes that are happening.
Right. India is a young nation, we all agree. Someone just mentioned our population is below 35. A very substantial chunk of our population is below 35. And by 2020, we'll be probably one of the youngest nations in the world. Do you think there is also a disconnect between the politicians that run our country and the common public and the youth? Do you think there's a huge divide or disconnect? Our politicians are too old, they stay in power too long, so they've lost touch with reality. Who agrees by show of hands? Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees that there is a disconnect between the politicians that rule our country and the youth of the country and the general population of the country. Now, I want to put the question to this particular audience, how can we change that? Are there any ideas about how to minimize this disconnect? Anyone on that? Yes.
Hi, myself Prashant from MIT COE. And as you mentioned, yes, there is a disconnect between the political parties and the general citizens. And the way it can be brought down is by, now we have seen that as we have taken the example of Delhi gang rape case. So in that situation, we have many people coming on the streets, but we didn't have a single politician supporting them or directing their agitation or the flow of emotions. Because whatever happened, it was natural for people to come on street and demonstrate their emotions. And what the government did by doing lathi charge or whatever, that was wrong. And then what they would have done is, we have young leaders as well. So at least any one of them could have come down with the people who were there down on the streets. And they wanted to hand over the letter to the president. So he would have led the mob, which was carrying candles and the letters. And he would have been their representative and would have handed the letter to the president. There was no one. There was no one. And then, so people were actually want to be a part of the government. And then they say that the people are not interested.
I think it's a very important point that he raises about young politicians in the country. We'll take a small break right now. I want to talk about this particular issues. This particular issue is that there are young people who are in politics right now. They are leading states right now. They're heading parties right now. But have our young leaders or so-called young leaders let us down? That's a question for you. Think about it. We'll come back after the break. Take a break. Come back. More on the other side. Welcome back after the break. Rajya Sabha Television is still with my friends over here. Before the break, we talked about how there might be a disconnect between India's youth, India's population and our leaders. Now we'll talk about the young generation of political leaders that India has right now. At least 3 to 4 chief ministers that come to my mind, top of my mind, are pretty young by Indian standards. They're below 40, perhaps even just touching 40. My question to my friend over there in the red jacket is, have our young politicians let us down? Did we expect too much from them, and have we given them enough time?
I'm Piyush Mishra from Lucknow, and I'm a participant to MIT School of Government. If we talk about that one, according to me, we have not given them much time. Or if we have given them the much time, if we go in the deep of that, they are mostly surrounded by the 80s, 90s, and more than that.
Could you be a bit louder? They're surrounded by older people.
Yeah, older people. Yeah. Older people. The majority they are surrounded by the older people.
And you think that is the problem?
Exactly.
So that they need to surround themselves with people like you and me. Is that the solution?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
You don't agree?
Youth should be there.
Yeah, you don't agree.
So I do not agree with him. The point is, if there is a politician, if there is a political leader, he should have an opinion of its own. Even if he's surrounded by people of 90 or 80, he's a political leader to place his own opinion. Why did we elect him in the first place? So that he makes a point to change the system, right?
Absolutely.
Why Rahul Gandhi? Why not some other person? Why not Atal Bihari? Why not anybody else? I'm just saying, I'm just stating an example. Because we expect a lot from him, right? We youth, we can count on only such people. So if they do not have a point, they do not have,
So you would say that even if we've given less time, even if they've been in politics for about 2 to 3 years, that should be enough for them.
right, this is pretty enough for them.
Yes, you.
I'd like to counter her point because in this process, in this system of democracy, democracy demands numbers, the majority. The youth leaders of this country are very few in numbers. The numerical strength is very few, and that is scattered. It's not a focused majority. It's not a majority at all. It's a minority, and it's scattered everywhere. And the second thing is that this is high time the youth of the country should enter the politics. From Facebook, they should get down to face now.
Absolutely. Wonderful point there. I think that particular point hit the nail on the head. Get out of Facebook, come face to face with your problems, with your issues, and do something about it. There is one person I want to speak to on this particular issue. She's over there. You had a point to make earlier. Go ahead and make that point.
So I would like to add that our media is putting too much of pressure on this politician. Our expectations are also high from those politicians. So they are reeling under those pressure and can't perform it. And some incident happened, like Rahul Gandhi is having some speech and can't perform, then we kind of relate those incidents with all the youth leader. So relating all those incidents that 90s-year-old or septuagenarians leaders are making is not right for the youth leaders. We have to give them a space and time to perform.
Fair point. Point taken. The person next to you, yes.
My name is Jinal. I'm from MIT School of Broadcasting and Journalism. I slightly vary on the point she said because I feel that the youth leaders are still suppressed under the senior leaders. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the more power still holds in the hands of the senior leaders because the youth politicians, yes, they do have their say, they try work their way out, but not much is done in action. And even otherwise, when they try to make a move, I feel it's always not politically done well. As in, when I say that, in terms of moral, in terms of ethics, in terms of criminal activities is like something I could really wanted to highlight because I think the most number of youth, MLAs and politicians are the ones who are major into the criminal records. And besides that, even the youth or even the general public for that matter, when we want to cast our vote, it's very difficult because I feel that majority of the youth, or talking on my behalf especially, when I go out to vote, I don't feel that, all the candidates are really worth it. I probably just vote for the sake of voting because...
Jinal, can I ask you 2 quick questions, please? One, do you always vote for a party or do you vote for a candidate?
I vote for a candidate, but then sometimes when the option of 49-0 really doesn't work most of the times, and I don't believe that it's really getting anywhere, so I do take my chance and just a quick guess and just opt for someone.
Would you be willing to get out of Facebook and face your issues face to face?
Yes.
Would you join politics?
Yes, I will.
And what are you doing about it?
I am really looking out for that. But then again, it comes down to the question of how easy is it for the common man to reach to that face? It's a totally different platform, and to what you see and what you're experiencing, it seems to be a world that you cannot touch because it's ruled over by political dynasties.
Absolutely. That's the problem. We keep coming back to time and time again in this particular debate as well. Why do people, common people, people who have no political background, why do they find it tough to break into the political system to start with? Who wants to answer that? Yes, you want to answer that. Let the mic come to you. By the time the mic comes to you, this is a very pertinent question. Dynastic rule exists, especially in the Indian subcontinent, lot more in our country as well. Why don't people like you and me break into the system, and why can't we?
Yeah, I am Raghavendra DVL. I am from Hyderabad. Currently, I am the participant of MIT School of Government. A person like me who don't have any political background want to enter into politics, and I will come with my hard work. After achieving something, I would present it in front of a leader who is from dynastic politics, who is from family hierarchy. So that person won't let me to come up. He will smash entire my hard work. These kind of dynastic politics are not allowing youth who come into politics on their hard work.
But do you see any solution to it? We all understand what the problem is here. We do understand what the problem is, right? What is the way around it? I mean, 60 years and more of independence, we haven't been able to break this mold of father passing it on to the son, son passing it on to the daughter. Why is it? Do you see any solutions? Nothing that comes to mind right now. You have a point, yes. Pass the mic to him, and then I'll come to that particular bunch over there. You haven't spoken at all. I'll come to you in just a bit.
Hello, my name is Pratik. One thing, most important thing that I think is that if there is a leader and he is from a dynasty, if he is good enough, he is capable enough, what is wrong in it? This person will surely attract thousands of people, thousands of youngsters, as Raj Thackeray did, right? He did attract so many youngsters. And one thing that we lack is that we think that they will smash us ahead, they won't let us go ahead. But the simple thing is that we need to have patience. And a person who is right and is doing something for his, not for his own, but for the people. He won't think of what he'll get from a political leader or what he will.
Fair point. Let me ask you a very honest question and answer me truthfully if you could. If Raj Thackeray wasn't from the family he's from, do you think if he had stood up as a political leader, he would have the kind of following he has now?
I think yes, because of his capability. He's capable enough.
Okay, let me put the question to your peers here. Who agrees with him? If Mr. Thackeray wasn't from the Thackeray clan, would he be able to be the leader he is today? Who says no? Show of hands. Wait, yes, you have a point. Then I'll go back to that side.
I think what you're talking about is you have to consider a political personality. It comes out of a nature and a nurture theory. So nature is one aspect of it. So the dynasty you get is obviously one part of it. Had Raj Thackeray not been of the Thackeray clan, I don't think so he would have got that stage by this age at all.
Absolutely. That's a fair point, and I think the majority agrees with you there. We'll take another small break. In the last segment, I want to talk to you about what is the future that you see in this particular country, in this country of ours. What is the future you see for yourself? I'll go to that side first, but first, we'll take a small break. Lots more to come on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We're still with my friends from MIT Group of Institutions, also from the SOG, the jacketed gentleman behind me. That's the School of Governance. We've been having a very interesting chat on politics, on youth, and how the two are connected. My friend over there wants to say something about the youth of the country and the youth leaders of the country.
I'm Sana and I'm from MIT COE. I just wanted to say that a lot of people over here say that the government is not hearing us. But thinking about it, the media has already put our words in front of them. So more I want is that they should act on what they've already heard from us.
So walk the talk, basically. You talk a good game, but you walk the talk.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You want to say something? That's a very interesting point, actually. Walk the talk, practice what you preach, whatever you want to call it. That's very interesting. Yes, go ahead.
I want to ask, why aren't we, the youth, blaming ourselves? We are just giving our points that the government does not do that. Okay, how many of us know who is the cabinet minister, who is the home minister, what kind of ministries are there? We just go into the Facebook status update and there's a pic going on that black dot. We only do that.
Right. So you think that we also talk a good game, but most of us are probably not even interested in what's happening on who's handling.
Interested.
And that's a big deal, right? If we don't act, then nobody's going to help us. We have to help ourselves. Is that what the point you're trying to make? Who agrees with them? We have to help ourselves. Nobody else can help us. Everyone agrees with me when I say nobody else can help the youth of the country except for the youth of the country themselves. We have to take matters into our own hands, and this is high time. I want to go to someone over there. Yes, you. Pass the mic to him. How does one take matters in their own hands legally? People say go on silent marches. Do you have any other ideas?
Hi, I'm Prithviraj. I am from MIT SOE. As you said, now there is Arvind Kejriwal who is coming forward. First, he was under Anna Hazare, who wanted to spread messages among the youth, but he got separated from Anna Hazare.
Did you support the Anna movement when it was happening?
I supported the cause.
You supported the cause. You did not support the individual.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Person next to you, yes. You wanted to say something earlier.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that everyone is saying nobody has a role in politics. but the common people are more in India and the youth are also more. So we should support each other and be in the politics because there are more number of common peoples. So the message should be passed from common people to common people and youth to youth for a new revolution in India.
If I start a political party tomorrow saying that all your secular and plural credentials that our constitution has, would you join me despite me not having any political backing?
Yeah, but if you do so, means if you have some...
It's an example. I'm saying if anyone does. Say for example, Anna Hazare started a movement, Kejriwal started a movement. In the middle, somewhere it got hijacked. It ceased to be the people's movement. Who agrees that Anna movement kind of got sidetracked by its own proponents? You do. Fair bit. It's still a minority. Maybe people do think that Anna still has a point. If you could pass the mic right over here. There is a friend of mine who wanted to speak. I think she has a very, very valid point. She'll speak about it in just a second. You were talking in the break to me and you had a very valid point to make. Make that point now.
What I think is when you go outside the country, you go to UAE, you go to US, you go to Europe, people there think, Indian politics and the Indian government has gone to the gutters, which is a fact, Indian media shows all the scams and all the corruptions out loud. Everybody, the whole world is watching you. And you're showing the whole world what kind of country it is. The country is going down. So even though you say that India is economically probably growing, socially and politically, the country is so low down that, when you talk about it elsewhere, people make a face, like, oh my gosh, you're talking about, Indian government.
We are presenting a very bad case to the world, and that's something to be worried about.
And it's not just, just the politicians, but it's also the media which shows you just CWG as, everything that CWG was bad. No, that's not true. Maybe what CWG did was bad to an extent, but you have to show the good parts.
Right. So don't just concentrate on what is going wrong with our country. There are some positives, there are some rights that are happening with the country. Show of hands who think that media is the actual culprit here. I think that's a pretty heavy majority, and I would like to ask all of you why, but I'll ask one person who hasn't spoken at all. You haven't spoken at all. By the time the mic comes to you, let me say this. The role of the media has come into question time and time again. I want to ask my friend why she thinks the media has to be blamed for whatever that is that you're blaming it for.
Hi, my name is Sarabjit Sharma. I'm from MIT School of School of Broadcasting and Journalism. And I feel that media is like more about celebrity. It's not, it's always about for celebrity, for its ruling party. They always show good about ruling party. And it is like they will show bad things also, but it's like more of a good parts on there and bad things over happening in opposition parties.
Do you think the media has to be far more responsible than it is right now?
Yes, because media always show paparazzi. It is all about paparazzi.
Are you just talking about electronic media or also print media?
Both electronic and print media also, but the electronic media has to blame it more because it's a audio visual and majority of people communicate through audio visual.
Absolutely. Pass the mic on to that gentleman over there. By the time the mic comes to you, there is one point I would like to make. Yeah, go ahead. Make your point first.
My name is Rahul Ayyar and I am from MIT Pune studying in mechanical engineering. I feel the media is quite wrong because the media shows always good things about foreign countries. But if it comes to our country, we show all the negative attitudes and negative aspects of our country, like these scams, these kind of gang rapes, all these things. But if we talk of other countries, what kind of invention they have made, how are they developing, how are they much ahead of us, we have to show more and more of positive things rather than focusing more and more on negative.
Okay, I'm completely out of time now. I will have to stop the questions right now. I'll have to put one last question to all of you. And when I do that, I want you to talk to me in one voice and raise your hands probably if you have to. Show of hands, do you think this particular exercise that we've done today here in your campus, programs like these, this is also part of media, this is also part of television. Do you think these programs actually help? Show of hands. In one particular voice. Do you think today was a constructive day for you? Did you learn anything and will you actually act upon it? Yes. I think that's my job done right there. we have paucity of time. I would have loved to chat with these young, bright, intelligent minds, but we're completely short of time right now. And that's where we end this particular session, the special campus debate that is coming to you from Pune. For the time being, Athar Khan saying goodbye, good night, and thank you for watching.